Okay, so here's my review of my Greenworks commercial 82 volt equipment. This is equipment that I bought at Site One, which is like a landscape supply company, pretty big all over the United States, but I'm not sure that they're everywhere. But at the time I purchased the equipment, it's only local distributorship here in Indianapolis that carries it. And if you followed my videos at all or know anything about me, my whole business model was predicated on being all battery powered, all electric. And I still am for my 21-inch mower and all my handhelds. I'm still all battery powered and electric, but I bought a 36-inch walk-behind mower that is gas powered, and I'll get to that here in a minute. This video, the beginning of this, I want to talk about my Greenworks and the problems I've had with it, the good points and the bad points. Let's start off with the mower. Okay, it's 21-inch. I bought four 4-amp-hour batteries to operate this mower with. And to be honest with you, it works great. I can get a 1/4 acre lawn done with one 4-amp-hour battery using just push mowing, not using my new gas mower at all, just push mowing. If the grass is overgrown, I may have to slap another battery in because it has a turbo position on the mower to where you can raise the RPMs to get through the taller grass. But for the most part, I mean, for an average cut, I can get through a 1/4 acre lawn on one 4-amp-hour battery, which I think is pretty good. I got mad at Greenworks here a week ago, and I'll explain to you why here in a minute. But I want to give an honest assessment of this equipment. This 21-inch mower, it cuts great. It is never once bogged down, even in thick shit. I mean, it is cut right through it. I use it in the mulch mode. It comes with a bagger and a side discharge attachment, but I've always used it in the mulch mode. My complaints with it are, there's several squeaks have developed, and I've tried to get rid of them and not have any luck. I assumed it was the wheels, but I used some oil, and the WD-40 tried to squirt up in there really well, and I can't get rid of them. But it is extremely solidly built. Unless something weird happens here, I anticipate this lasting for quite a while. It's got convenient handles. It is a commercial grade piece of equipment, except for maybe the tires. The tires are those plastic tires, which I think almost all 21-inch mowers come with now, but the tires can be easily changed. My only complaint with this piece of equipment, and I actually have it with I have 4 pieces of equipment. I have with all 4 pieces of equipment. And I don't know what it is, and I brought this up to Greenworks, and sorry, I'm at home. It's trash day, so you might hear a trash truck in the background. I'll be mowing along, safety switch engaged. How you start, you push this button, pull the bale up, start mowing, and I'll be mowing along and the mower will just stop. Now, this doesn't happen frequently. This happens occasionally. Of course, your first reaction when it's stopped is you've ran out of juice in the battery, but then you go and look at the battery and know the battery's still half or 3/4 of the way full. It just stops. And I have that problem with every piece of equipment. On the blower, I'll be blowing along and it'll stop. On the string trimmer, I'll be trimming and it just stops. And the same with the stick edger. Now, when it stops, using the mower as an example, when it stops, sometimes all I have to do is recycle. Recycle and it starts right back up and it's fine. Other times I actually have to go down, pop out the battery and pop it back in, recycle the battery to get it to work again. That's pretty much the same on every piece of equipment. Sometimes just a new recycle of the trigger will get it going again. Other times it takes actually popping the battery out. Don't know what the deal is. Greenworks hasn't given me an explanation, but I'm trying to give an honest review here. A week ago I was mad at Greenworks about my stick edger, which I'll show you in a minute. I was, bitching and moaning about everything. But the truth is, this has been a pretty solid piece of equipment for me. So in the future, I hope not to be cutting any more lawns with a 21-inch, now that I've got a bigger mower. But for those places where only a 21-inch will fit, or just as a trim mower getting under trees and stuff, this thing works great. I have no complaints with it whatsoever. Maybe the only complaint would be, I'm not sure, and this might have to do more with the blades than the actual blade speed. I'm not sure it lifts the grass enough. Now, I haven't messed with any other blades on this or anything because I don't want to void a warranty or anything like that. So I've stuck to the Greenworks blades, which they recommend. And it just doesn't seem to lift the grass enough. It doesn't leave stragglers. It's hard to explain. It's not that it doesn't cut everything, it does. But there are some grass that's laid over that maybe it just doesn't quite lift up enough to give it a clean cut. But overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give this a solid 9, maybe 9.5. It cuts fine, it doesn't bog down, it actually stripes really good. And, you know, the little glitch with it stopping every once in a while isn't that big an issue at this point, as long as it doesn't lead to some other bigger issue down the road. But at this point, yeah, it's a little inconvenient, but so what? Recycling, you're off and going again. So that's it on the mower. The piece of equipment I am absolutely the happiest with is the blower. The reason I bought this is 500 cubic feet per minute. I think it's 130, might be 140 miles per hour. I don't think it says on here, it just says 500 cubic feet per minute. I wouldn't want to do a leaf cleanup with this, I guess depending on the number of leaves. But for cutting a lawn, cutting a residential lawn, blowing off the driveway, the sidewalks, the patios, things like that, this thing works great. And it's so easy to use. It's so easy to use and so quiet. And you just plug the battery in and go. I mean, I don't have to start anything. I don't have to mess with anything. I'm sure you can hear me talking over this. Plenty of power, it blows everything off, and it works like a charm. So, from a battery point of view, I mean, I just love this. You plug it in, you go, and I'm done. You know, I don't have to mess with gas or oil or starting the thing. Just pop the battery in and go. So I love it. Solidly built. I'll give you, they've got a couple of different models available. This is a 2.5 amp hour battery. Plug it in. It's well balanced, easy to carry. Now, if you try to put a 4 amp hour battery in here, let me go grab one real quick. This is the 4 amp hour battery. When you put it in, first thing you'll notice is the battery actually sticks out of the back of the housing a little bit, and it becomes unbalanced. It is very back heavy. See how this always wants to flip up? So when you're blowing with a 4 amp hour battery in, you're actually having to force your wrist to force the nozzle down. It gets pretty tiring. You can do it. I mean, if you're out of 2.5 amp hour batteries, I've got 4 of each, 4 2.5 hour amp batteries and 4 4 amp hour batteries. You can do it. I just wouldn't recommend it for very long. If I had to do it over again, I would buy 2 4 amp hour batteries for the mower and 6 2.5 amp hour batteries for all the other handheld equipment. Now, excuse me, chewing tobacco, sorry. I got 4 of the batteries for free because they were running a promotion. You buy a piece of equipment, buy a battery, get a battery for free. So, you know, I could have gotten 6 2.5 amp hour batteries and I just didn't do it. Just hindsight being 20/20. Okay. Next on the agenda is a string trimmer. Now, this is a 16-inch string trimmer. In my opinion, guys, it's got plenty of power. I mean, I've cut plenty of high, 12, 18-inch, 24-inch crap down with it. My complaint about it, there's two complaints I have about this. Number one, the same trigger pull, you know, be going along trimming and it just all of a sudden stops for no apparent reason. You recycle the trigger, or sometimes got to recycle the battery. My other complaint with this is the original head it comes with. And let me see if I can find it. This is the original head it comes with, and this original head's crap. You know, I mean, don't even waste your time with it. It's a piece of crap. And as you'll see in my other video, I mean, I've only been in business for a couple months. I think I've only cut now 22 lawns for money. I mean, total, not per week or per day, total. Well, got 4 customers. So for this thing to be wore out as fast as it did, it's not commercial grade. It's a rapid reload. You have to line up 2 notches on the bump with 2 notches on the side spool to slide the string through to rapid reload it. Well, after just a couple of uses, the notches on the bump are worn off, so you can't tell where to line it up. And there's 8 different positions. And if you don't have the string just right, it doesn't slide through. And if you don't know if you're on the right position, and then you can't get the string through, it's just crap. So just take my word for it. As soon as you get it, replace it. It's, you know, if you were a commercial mower where you were doing 10 to 20 lawns a day, by the end of the week, you'd be done with this. You'd be done. It's just that bad. It needs to be redesigned. And even when it is working properly to rapid reload it, the twisting action, I mean, it just tears the shit out of your hand. It's so hard to do. But anyway, that's my opinion. It's a piece of crap, so get yourself something else. Now I have put, which I'm going to do another video, a separate video on, I've put an Aeroflex head on this. And I will do a separate video on that. I just wanted to show you how this runs. That's full bore with the Aeroflex head. The Aeroflex head can be a little bit louder than some of, you know, just a regular string trimming head. So if you go with just a regular head on here, it'll even be less noise. But this thing is super quiet, super easy to use. I can adjust the trigger. You know, if I need to go full blast, it has plenty of power. 1 2.5 amp hour battery will get you through more than an entire lawn. On a normal lawn, normal trimming, you know, nothing excessive or long, I can take 1 2.5 amp hour battery and do the stick edging, the trimming, and the blowing, and still have some juice left in a 2.5 amp hour battery. So I'm real pleased with that. Now we get to the stick edger. It's just a normal stick edger, an 8-inch blade. I think you guys can probably see that. I've used this thing less than 6 times. I upcharge it to my customers. I charge them $10 for stick edging. If they don't want to pay for stick edging, you know, I give them what they get with the string trimmer. I got it. Worked great. Last week, I landed my 4th customer. I told you I only have 4. I landed my 4th customer. Standing out there talking to him, I upsell him $10 per visit. I mean, $10 is $10 to do the stick edging. So I'm out there, I get him to say, okay, yeah, let's do stick edging, $10. He's standing there watching me. I go to do it, and here's what happens. Safety on, safety pulled back, trigger on. I'll do it again a couple of times. So that's where I'm at with my stick edger. And this is what made me explode on Greenworks. I was embarrassed as hell in front of my customer. I just spent the time to upsell him, and then this crap happens. And I went back and kind of contacted Site 1 and Greenworks and was pretty nasty about it. I wanted to return all this shit. You know, if it's not going to be reliable, I can't use it. Now the thing with the stick edger, there is an overload safety switch in there, which I noticed when I first got it. Like if I'm down stick edging, if you get into something too deep or too thick, it'll shut the engine off to keep from overheating it. You just back off a little bit and it starts working again. So maybe that's all it is a faulty overload switch or something like that. But as you can see, nobody can stick edge with this. When it works fine. Is it as powered as a gas one? Is a gas? No. You know, I think a gas stick edger would probably be a little bit more efficient, you know, a little bit more power, but for residential lawns, normal residential lawn, it works fine. But again, I'm only going off of, you know, 4 or 5 uses. That's all I've had out of it. And then this stuff started, and so, you know, I went from last week being all pissed off and saying, hey, I want to return all this shit. I want my money back. It's been less than 90 days. I shouldn't have to put up with this crap. To, okay, it's for the most part working. Site 1 told me yesterday all I have to do is take the stick edger into their location and they'll swap it out for a new one. So that's what I'm going to go do here this morning. But, so for the most part, I am pretty thrilled. The stuff works the way it's supposed to. This could all change. I told you some of the glitches and stuff I'm having here. If those continue to be an issue, I'm going to be an unhappy camper. Right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I am, including the stick edger issue, a 7.5 to 8. I'm not thrilled, you know, I'm not a 9, but 7.5 to 8. What I told Greenworks was, if I was having this issue of it cutting out with one piece of equipment or something like that, my attitude would be, you know, hey, shit happens, you know. I don't care if it's a gas powered or battery powered or plug-in electric. Shit happens to pieces of equipment. I mean, things go wrong. You fix it and you go on with life. But when I see the same problem occurring in 4 different pieces of equipment, red flag goes off in my mind that, hey, there's something in the circuit boards or something is off on these. If it stays like this for the next couple of years, fine. You won't hear any complaining out of me. But if I don't get a solid 3 years out of this equipment, and next year with the anticipation of doing, you know, 20, 25 lawns per week, I'm going to be pretty pissed off at Greenworks. But so far, well built, quality constructed. I looked at the Ego 56 was the other one I really compared this to, and it's night and day difference. The quality of these are much, much better. These are truly commercial equipment. So, you know, the ease of use I just love. It's not for everybody. I know a lot of you guys are sold on gas still, and gas is all you'll ever use. And hey, good, you know, good for you. That's nothing wrong with that. But for me, the convenience of just plugging and going, I just love it. So that's my review on the Greenworks commercial 82 volt 4 pieces of equipment I have.